You just moved into a new house with your friend. The rent is dirt cheap, sure, but there's something off about this house. You sense a sinister presence roaming about and only discover the true horror when your friend goes missing and you have to find her. And then a mysterious staircase appears. And while you don't know where it will lead you, you know you need to find Fuyo, and fast. It's been weeks, months even. The town knew them as a recently moved in young couple. They were sweet and worked at a local restaurant. That's where folks first started to notice their disappearance. You enter the house and are met with strange objects. A boat, a rusted up car, boxes and broken TVs. The house seems untouched, and yet, at the same time, everything seems to be thrown about. It's different, and you as Aki travel up the staircase. And as you grab a rusted old pipe, break some wooden planks, you navigate a maze. And within that maze, you find a knife and several bagged up bodies. Except the bodies aren't dead. They're alive, and you still bring a knife to their flesh. I will always remember the memory of pain. My 11th birthday. The day my father hit me. The goldfish I bought at a festival died that same day. These aren't your memories, and yet they feel so visceral, so real. What follows is a recounting of those memories, of dirt serving as nourishment for the worms and maggots, of a fear of what lies in the dark, of the day your father died. The relief you felt, even if only a little, because the dreams in which he stares at you with his cold eyes. A grave is a grave. It's not a human being. Even if I made something tangible like this, I couldn't heal my father. I don't want to make my own grave. We climb a series of puzzling staircases, learning that humans obey pain. And as we approach the spike-covered baseball bat, perhaps we know it must be done. The thing I sank into the bathtub was heavy from absorbing water. The dog barked, dancing on the tiles. What kind of story have I begun? We hit the body and have to hastily find an escape. We talk of gods, of sacrifice, of tragedy becoming such. We are getting closer to the truth. And then, well, dear viewer, the horror kinda ends. And don't worry, we'll be talking about what I think everything means. But the end of the game, it's kinda honestly pretty funny. What I think the story to this point has been trying to explain is the life of an abused child. Their father obviously hits them, as is directly told, and what I believe follows is the child killing their father with a weapon as the dog barks. Maybe stuffing them in a fridge, and perhaps burying them as we talked about graves, or putting the dead body in the attic. I'm honestly not sure, but what I can tell you is the reason for the child to do this. Humans obey pain. I believe the child somehow dies after this, or at least years after, and now haunts the house. Hence things like the boat being a sign of the dead goldfish, and just the general mystery of the house. I won't talk much about this abuse, as the game gives sparse details, but also, I feel as if it would be insensitive of me to talk about. I normally discuss things I've personally experienced, and I just haven't experienced this. I also realize it is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, and while I've never shied away from these kinds of topics on the channel before, because I think we as a society need to talk about them more, but again, I haven't experienced it. And so I have nothing productive to add aside from the obvious statement of, we need to stop doing this. Plain and simple. What the game does is showcase this tragedy and give it the depth and time it needs for it to slowly sink in. And then, it doesn't necessarily flip it on its head, but instead goes for the dark comedy route. Which, again, it's a very sensitive topic, and because it goes for this route, this game isn't going to be made for everyone. But I do think within that horror and the comedy is an interesting message. When the spirit is revealed at the end, they say, pain is the common language of humanity. They then allude to some strange things I'm not going to get into because I have a point to make. Is pain the common language of humanity? Surely we all experience it, every person at some point in their lives, so wouldn't it be a bad assumption to say that it is humanity's common language? Something we can all relate to, even if I believe love is actually a language we understand reality through. What the spirit seems to want, however, is to use that pain mantra as a reason to kill her two girls, for them to share in their pain. It's a concept similar to, well, if I have to hurt, then so do you. And honestly, I get that. I really do. When you're experiencing pain, you want to find meaning in it. And when at times you can't find that meaning, you do one of two things. Become a born-again Christian, or conversely, desire to share that pain with others. And that latter one doesn't have to be a bad thing. Just look at this channel. I've shared much of my own pain with you, the audience. And in that sharing, I've successfully vented, yes, but I hope you also gotten something out of it too. Just knowing that someone, even if only a little, shares your pain, well, it can be very sad, but also a relieving feeling. Because then you know you aren't alone. And that someone out there gets it. When it turns bad, then, is when you force that pain upon others. And I'm not talking about venting, although even that can be inappropriate sometimes. We should be talking about these things on a societal level, as well as a personal one. Speaking and confiding in your friends for the reasons I literally just stated. No. What I'm talking about now is hurting others because you have been hurt. Similar to one of the characters from He Fucked the Girl Out of Me, someone who clearly felt immense pain and then inflicted it upon others, it seems like the spirit in Very, Very House is doing that very thing. Intentionally lashing out at others is, at times, an understandable thing. But most of the time, at least, it's just not acceptable, no matter how deep your pain is. Killing strangers like we see here because of that pain, well, it goes without saying that that is wrong. But, of course, luckily for us, Fu Yu has definitely killed before. And after she kills the spirit, which, is this even a spirit anymore? We return to the house, determined to still stay there because we all know cheap rent is cheap rent and savings are depleted. Fu Yu has the brilliant idea of literally just burning the body, and once we find her water tank, we do just that. And after a relaxing bonfire, or a barbecue if you want to put it, the staircase opens up one more time. But prep with the knowledge we have now, we know we'll be able to face anything. And with that, the game ends. A cute yet disturbing little indie horror game I bought for literally less than $1. I'd recommend you go support the game, and the link will be in the description, because it really was fun with an interesting story. To end this video off right, I just want to say one thing. Be kind to others. And, as always, thank you for watching.